Hi everybody, and welcome to our winter wonderland. It turns out it's perfectly fitting for what everybody is getting right now. I've been reading through the comments as we've been waiting, and it looks like a ton of you are getting a whole bunch of snow. So we are in Norway tonight, and looks like this is a perfect weather for many of you. We've only gotten a few inches here in Michigan. It's actually been a very mild winter. We'll get a little bit of snow and then it disappears, and a little bit more. And so far we've missed a lot of it. So anyway, welcome to Tuesday night. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. Hope you got some crafting time in, maybe some movie watching. And anyway, tonight I decided that I was going to work. I'm still going to be working with the new Dream Big exclusive craft kit. So I thought tonight we're going to do something with the Northern Lights. I've always wanted to see Aurora Borealis up close and personal. And I've actually been to Norway, but I didn't go far enough Norway. I went there to teach. Far enough Norway? Helen's correcting me. Far enough north in Norway. Apparently tonight my brain is just going to be combining words. I'm making up new words. Didn't one of our presidents used to do that? Who was that?
Bush.
Oh, Bush number 2 used to make up words. So I'm going to be making up new words tonight. Anyway, I went to Norway to teach some craft classes actually, but I didn't get far enough north. I didn't get to go see the fjords. I didn't get to go see the Northern Lights. And so it's one of the things, it's like a bucket list kind of thing. It's right up there with Ireland and Scotland. So anyway, but this is actually something that I think my husband would actually like to go see. So one of these days. Anyway, so I was looking for some beautiful background images, excuse me, that would show the fjords, and I saw this and I thought, oh my gosh, does that ever look cold? But gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I thought this would be perfect. It's not, it doesn't have Aurora Borealis on it, but that's okay. We did that last time. This time it's really all about the fjords. I thought that would be fun. So, oh, and let me think. Well, I do have something new to show you. It's not too exciting, so don't get excited. But I do want to take a little survey if we can. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch cameras and you'll see what I'm talking about. Again, do not get excited because it's not that big a deal. Alrighty, so you're used to seeing gray here. Don't you hate when people do this kind of thing in the camera? It drives me nuts. That's a real pet peeve of mine. Anyway, Alan brought this back from the office, and he thought that this would look better than the gray. So I just want to know, do you like the black better as the background? I thought I would try it tonight. Or do you like the gray? If you could just let me know in the comments, because I do read through the comments. I'll be going through them later. So a little survey, if you can let me know if you prefer gray or black in the background, I would appreciate it, because I want to make you guys happy. That's why we're here, right? Okay, so tonight I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this for you guys. I'm going to show you how I did it. It's actually quite easy, but I think it's just gorgeous. I thought it's so pretty. And it features, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have this little tickle in my throat. It features our Magical Skies stencils, which, and yes, I know it's misspelled, but this is only the prototype. And when you guys get the real one in your kit, it will have the correct spelling. I promise you. So anyway, I didn't have this in the package because I used it and I have it taped off, but this is the 2-pack stencil that I used to create this. And I'm going to make a slimline card with it, and I thought it would be fun to actually do the stenciling on camera for you guys. I think it turned out so pretty. And I've even got glittery, glistening stars on there with the shooting star. I just think it's so pretty. And I had this sitting in here, and when Alan came up here to get everything organized for tonight, I said to him, please do not touch my project because the stickles are still wet. And he didn't. He was fantastic. And then I sat down and I reached across to one of my computers and I put my arm in it. I didn't tell him that. He's laughing at me right now, but yes, I put my arm in it, and no, they're not dry. Well, they might be now. I think I got all of it on my sweater. Anyway, what else are we playing with tonight? All right. Ricola. I think it's time for me to get a cough drop. You know, I haven't coughed all day, and all of a sudden I get on camera here and I'm live and I can't stop this little coughing thing I got going on. But anyway, we're going to use Dream Big. This is our 4x6 stamp set, 10 stamps all together. And you can see this one is well loved. I've worked with everything in here. And I think the only stamp I haven't stamped yet is the one that says Dream Big. And I'm planning on using that one tonight. So these stamps, as well as the stencil, they're all part of the Dream Big exclusive craft kit that is currently up for pre-order. And we should be getting, I think we're going to be shipping these maybe in like 10 or 11 days time. We're going to be shipping them. So I got the notification from the manufacturer, so we were waiting on one more piece. So we're going to be shipping these, I would say within the next 2 weeks, but I'm hoping for like 10 or 11 days. Anyway, the back of the packaging shows you, it shows you the images in full color and gives you an idea of how you can color them. We also have the coordinating die, so we have a die in here for every one of these characters. The only thing that you're not going to be able to cut out with the die are going to be the sentiments. And of course, on the back, we show you a little map of which die goes with which stamp. So we're going to use those, the Magical Skies. I've pulled these papers. These were cut last time. These are the papers that come in the kit. They actually, when you get your kit, they'll actually be full 8.5 by 11, but I've been playing already, so I already trimmed these down. This one is actually shimmery, if you haven't seen it. Let me see if I can, there it goes, catching the light. That one's shimmery, and they're all a really, really good heavy-duty cardstock, so love these. And then the other thing I pulled in was this is one of my staples, my Over the Hills border die. It's just one of the staple items that I grab all the time when I'm creating scenes. But I will tell you this, I don't want this scene, you know, as much as you hear me say that I love, you know, to have a lot of dimension on my scenes, I do not want this particular card to have a tremendous amount of dimension because I really want the Aurora Borealis background to stand out and be the real focal point. So here are the pieces that I have so far. If you remember from last time, there were some characters on the sheet that I had stamped and I hadn't colored or cut out yet. So I finished coloring a few of those, and it's this little boy and this little girl and the moon. The moon I had to stamp again because I did cut that out. I used it in a card previously. So, and then of course with my Over the Hills die, this is what I cut out. I just grabbed a piece of scrap paper, and the scrap paper happened to be this width already. You can see how this fits in here. So it just happened to be a piece of scrap that I had. And it's actually a little bit wider than my card, so I will trim it down. But, you know, it's perfect for grabbing, you know, for grabbing scraps and utilizing those. So certain things I just never get rid of. And then this other piece of scrap here, I'm going to use this to stamp the sentiment on it. So I'm going to set those aside, and we're going to get to some stenciling. So whenever I'm going to be doing any kind of color blending, stenciling, I always pull my Strathmore Bristol. So we're going to be using this today. It's Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. That's the one that you want. I always get this in, this is the 9x12. They do have different sizes. So let's just get a 9x12 out of here. And we're going to trim this down now. Our slim lines will automatically cut to 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I'm going to trim this down to there. I think I may end up trimming it further, but I'm at least going to go to that. I could use one of my slim lines to cut this, but I don't need to have, I'm not worrying about having any stitching or anything like that around this right now. So, so I'm not using one of those. But anyway, this is already 9 inches and I want it to be 8 1/4. So I'm going to trim 3/4 of an inch off of it. So we should be good to go with this. I do need a little scrap piece of paper because I don't want to get ink all over everything. And then here are my stencils. Now, this is a two, you know what, I'm going to move this again because I want you to be able to see, you can see it better with the black background. This is a 2 stencil pack, and it gives you, actually, I'm just going to take this off of here so you can see it. I'll retape it. Because if you haven't seen this yet, I think it's important that you understand what it does. So let me get this off of here. This will only take me a moment. So this is the largest stencil, and you can have the stencils in either direction. It doesn't really matter. But this one has actually 4 different parts to this stencil. It has a beautiful snowy edge at the bottom here. Notice that curved edge. So there, that allows you to do like beautiful snowy or even, you know, grassy hills. You have this section here that allows you to have these beautiful houses, really focusing on the rooftops and the beautiful evergreens and the stars in the sky. This is where we've got Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. We've even got a shooting star in here. And then up top here is another section where you can do a different type of a kind of a feature sky, where you have beautiful like rolling clouds, and you have the moon in here as well. So that's the first stencil. The second stencil is actually an overlay. Now you can use this by itself if you just want to get some beautiful stars and put those up in the sky. You can use this as a mask to put it over. Notice how it lays perfectly over the larger stencil. So it's going to block out those and all of those, the areas there where we have Aurora Borealis, and it makes it easier for you to stencil this area down here without getting color up in that region where you don't want it. And same thing up top here. You can use this to block off. If you don't want to tape it off, you could lay this here. I had it taped off because I was actually working in the center. But if you just want to work with this area up here, lay this over it. Tape these down together and use this as your mask. Okay? If you put this down first, you can use some of your mixed media, different pastes like glimmery pastes and things like that through this one, let it dry, and then come over with this one to get the Aurora Borealis around it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. If you want to get just a different color in this area down below before you put the houses, which is what you're going to see me do, then you're going to use this one first, and you're going to utilize that border. And you're going to see me do that today. And you can do the same thing with this, with the top. Utilize that border to put color behind your clouds, and then lay this down together and get the clouds over top. And then you'll actually have, you know, dual color, like two-tone clouds. So there's a lot you can do with this set of 2 stencils. This is included in your kit. I'm sure there's even things that I haven't mentioned here too, because it really is a fantastic, fantastic stencil. So the first thing that I wanted to do was, I thought it'd be really pretty to put these houses at the bottom here. So I'm going to have my little characters looking up at the sky. So I've got my slim line. It's vertical. I don't know if you can see that in here. Let me do it this way. My slim line is vertical. So I'm gonna put some blue in this area here, but I don't want to get that color up top here right now. Okay. So let me lay this down. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this into place. Now I do have to apply tape here at this point because I'm not masking this one. I don't want this one down yet. So I'm just going to decide where I want this to be. I want to have some space where I can put some of the hills, those little hills that I cut out with my die. And I'm going to kind of figure out maybe roughly where I want these houses to be. So if I want the houses to be roughly this high, I can fit my hills in here. Remember these hills that I cut, right? So that's going to give me a pretty good position there. All right, so I think I have this in a good spot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape off these 2 stars. See those 2 stars that you see there? I don't want to get ink in those areas. So I'm going to go ahead and tape those off. We do have a question. And by the way, if you have questions, please put your questions out there. We've got Stephanie and Linnea. I saw that you guys are both on. Thank you, ladies. They will try and answer some of your questions. If they see them come across, my husband might answer as well. And he is putting some of the questions up in front of me. So Judy is asking a question here. Will LDRS be doing any of the upcoming Stamp and Scrapbook Expos or other online events? That's an excellent question. We will be looking into getting some scheduled. I don't have any scheduled right now because we have so much going on right now. So I haven't had room in the schedule to put anything yet, but that is something that I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to grab a couple of colors here. I've got 2 hybrid inks. I've got Swimming Hole, gorgeous, gorgeous blue. That's my lighter blue. And then I have Dark Wash Jeans. These are awesome for blending colors, for blending these colors. They will blend with each other. They'll reactivate each other to a point. When I say to a point, meaning you're not going to be able to reactivate something that's been sitting there for, a couple of days or anything. So, but I've got my blender brushes here. Actually, because these colors work so well together, and I couldn't find my Swimming Hole brush, I just used my Dark Wash Jeans, and I worked with the lighter color first with the Swimming Hole, and it worked out beautifully. So that's what you're going to see me doing here. Okay, I'm going to go off first to make sure that when I bring the color in, it is nice and smooth. Just making little circles. I'm not pressing really hard. There we go. I just want to get fairly even coverage here. So that is the one. So that is Swimming Hole. Now I'm going to go to Dark Wash Jeans, and I want this color to be darker as it goes up. So I'm going to come in with Dark Wash Jeans up at the top and then blend it out a little bit as it goes down. So that gives me a gorgeous, gorgeous midnight blue. So pretty. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I always have something handy to wipe the excess off my stencil. There we go. So my next step, I'm going to line up. See how it lines right up in here? It's almost perfect. I'm going to line that up together. I'm going to tape this in place. Yeah, find the beginning of this. Question, do we have a color chart for all of the ink pads that we carry? You know what? Let me think. I do have a chart where you can, I'm trying to remember if it's available in the store or not. I know it was at one time. We actually have a chart where you can stamp, your color, and then you can write in your color, like a swatch chart. And I can't remember if it's in the store right now, only because I can't remember where to tell you to look for it. So let's make note of that. If anybody is listening, Linnea, make note of that. So I'm going to go now in with dark wash jeans, and I'm going to go really dark with this. And I'm going to come over these houses with this beautiful, beautiful blue. There we go. Darker up at the top, just for effect. And then I'm going to enhance that with a little bit of the Raven. Beautiful, dark, rich black. And I'm going to avoid doing the stars. And I'm just going to come like on the rooftops a little bit, at the top of the rooftop. There we go. Get that little bit of smoke from the chimney. So we're going to have a beautiful kind of mix of navy, that beautiful dark wash jeans, that navy like midnight blue. And then you're going to see those rooftops in black. And to me, it almost looks like they're kind of glowing a little bit. Look how pretty that is. It's so easy to do. I have a little bit of a line right here, which I'm not worried about. You have to remember these are snowbanks. So that's okay if that's like that. I'm not worried about it. I think it's still beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the excess, and I'm going to leave my tape on there in case I need it. Let me clean up the excess on this one as well. What is that? That doesn't look like a question, Alan.
It's not, it's a statement.
Oh. Okay, Alan wants me to point out that in the store, the ink pad bundles will show you the names of all the colors as well as the colors themselves. So thank you, Alan.
Oh, I didn't know about the names.
Yeah, I think the names are out there.
Are they?
I hope so, now that I said it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead with this beautiful blue again. Let me turn this, because I'm going to put a light blue in this entire background now. I've got, this is the one that I use for my dark wash jeans and swimming hole. So here's the two colors. I'm starting up at the top. I'm blending very light. I'm starting up at the top because I want it to go from dark to light. And I know that the brush is going to run out as I get toward the bottom here. Look at this. There's so much ink on here still. I didn't even have to put it back into... I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to put this down so I can hold it, because this ink, it is a hybrid ink, which means that it's going to take a little bit longer to dry, because it has the kind of a mixed qualities, you know. It's a hybrid between a oh my goodness, I've lost my mind.
I wasn't listening.
It's a hybrid ink between I've lost my mind between the two types of ink. I cannot think right now.
Pigment and something?
Pigment and
The other one?
oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm going to be 53 in 8 days. So a pigment and a dye ink.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. My mind is already going. Okay, so anyway, and so it has a drying times is my point. So I'm going to, yeah, I don't want the oils in my fingers to, you know, absorb any of that. So there we go. Oh my gosh, my brain. All right, so I have that little bit of blue back there now. And you'll see why I'm doing that, because we're going to be doing some more layering. Next up is going to be the layering of, let me put this on here. Now it doesn't layer absolutely perfectly. I mean, you have to remember they are machine cut. So you might get a little bit, you know, where it's not absolutely perfect, but that's okay. I'm just going to tilt this and I'm going to blend all that in anyway. There we go. And I'm going to tape this down. Let's see. I'm going to tape over the areas that I don't want to get any ink, like these stars here. Now, I remember seeing a comment that somebody put out and said, boy, you use a lot of that tape or something. And somebody else said, well, yeah, it's because she has a ton of it. Well, and that's half true. I will tell you. And I do not like to badmouth products, but this is a product that I'm actually quite disappointed in. And I had it in the store and I removed it from the store. Do I have this going in the right direction? I think I do, yes. I had this tape and I had the original one before they changed it. This has the little flowers on it. And I had the one that was just solid purple and I loved it. It's absolutely wonderful. And I talked about it a lot and I encouraged everybody to get it. And then, you know, they stopped. I thought they had just changed the packaging. I thought they had just changed the packaging and went with these little flowers on it, on the tape as well. And so I ordered it, I put it in the store and I boasted about it and I really encouraged it. Anyway, when I got it, they had actually changed the tape. And the tape does not adhere very well. It doesn't, I mean, you can even see it lifting here. It just doesn't adhere, and it's literally a one-use tape. So I pulled it out of the store. And so, yes, I do have a lot of it. And so now in using it, I'm going through it and basically getting rid of it. So, so I don't worry about how much I'm using because of that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put some tape up top here too, because I want to only get the section here with Aurora Borealis. I don't want to get the area where the clouds are. Lisa's asking, what do you use on the cloth to clean up the stencil? Water. That's all I'm using is water to clean it up. So this, I just literally soak it for a couple of minutes in water in the sink and, you know, squeeze out the excess, of course. And that's it. So, you know, back to the tape, I took it out of the store because I don't want to sell a product that I wouldn't use myself, that I don't believe in. So I'm hoping that they're going to make adjustments to that. So in the meantime, we do not have that for sale. Okay, so I've got that done. Let me get this one out of the way because I think it might be a little confusing seeing that one in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and grab my other colors now. So my next three colors are this beautiful, vibrant pink. It's called Tickled Pink. Isn't that stunning? That's something on it. I've even got blue on my fingernails. That's attractive. And then I've got Lala Lavender, beautiful purple, and then Tropical Sea, which is a gorgeous kind of an aqua blue. Judy is saying, any hints on the next release? Judy, we just got this one out. It hasn't even shipped yet.
I think she wants to know about the February.
Oh, the February collection. Okay, my apologies. I was thinking, I thought you meant the next, because I'm doing a craft kit, I thought you meant the next craft kit. No, I don't have any hints on it. Not at all. Sorry. Sorry. But it will be in a lot of stores very soon, within the next few weeks. Okay, so I'm going to start with Tickled Pink, and I'm going to have these kind of go up, in like as though they're going up through the sky. So Tickled Pink, I'm going to come right over that blue and just go up. I'm actually not even going to go off the page first with it because I want this to be brilliant, brilliant pink. Let's take another one up here. There we go. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I am going to go in, take a moment. Oh, I moved it. What a goober. Apparently I got to tape down my...
Hey, don't move it.
Thank you, Alan.
Hey, if I were you, I wouldn't move that.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks for the suggestion. Sounds to me like Alan... All right, now I can't find the beginning of this. Sounds to me like Alan should be crafting.
No.
He's got all these ideas and, telling me what I should do.
So none of my ideas are any good.
All right, I'm going to tape that down so that doesn't budge. I think Alan should be crafting. So anyway, this is an important step, I think. I'm going in and I'm just using using my finger just to kind of get the color off of, the excess color off of the stencil. And I think that's important, especially when you're working with an ink that, that blends so beautifully together, like these hybrids. I don't want that to be all over the place. So, so I do a little bit of cleanup there. I'm going to go to this beautiful, actually, that's not the one I want next. I want my Tropical Sea, because it's a gorgeous kind of turquoise. So we're going to bring that in. I'm not going to go off the page first because I want the real strong color. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. I'm going to take this right up. I'm trying to save a little bit of room as I do this for the purple. I can go over, take one color over the other just a little bit. And then next is going to be La La Lavender. Make sure I have the right brush. I have some space right up in here for purple. Oh, and I didn't listen to my own advice. Oh, gotta clean that off a bit. Didn't I just tell everybody how important that was? There we go. And it is. Don't do as I do. How's that? There we go. Beautiful purple in over here, maybe. All right. Let me clean that up. There we go. Gorgeous. Now I'm going to take this, and this is not going to line up perfectly with this one. So I'm not going to worry about it lining up. I'm just going to kind of line it up like kind of where I can a little bit. All right, so this kind of swoop comes in here. And I'm going to lay this one across here. And now we're going to do it again. And I'm going to start with the pink again. So this is Tickled Pink. And I'm paying attention to where I put my colors the last time because I kind of want to do a bit of a continuation of that. So it looks like it's you know, all going up from the same area. Take that one over a bit. Actually, I want to get a little more pink in there. I want it to be really strong and vibrant. And then back to Tropical Sea. Right up the side. Up through that center again. Going over that pink again, just a little bit. Maybe take a little bit up here. Leaving room for that purple. This is an area where the colors were blending, where like the pattern was blending. So I'm actually bringing a little bit of that in just to try and help transition. And then we're going to go back to La La Lavender to fill in some of that space that I left. Maybe put a little bit up here too. And over here to the side. All right. I forgot to wipe down in between as a bad girl. But I have an area over here that actually doesn't bother me because if you notice, we have all of this, all that movement. So the fact that this comes down and moves over here, I think is perfectly fine. I think I am going to just go in there and let me see if I want to do it. I just want to smooth out that line a little bit. I may regret this. Ah! Where's my tape? Here it is. I'm going to cover some of that up. I just want that line to be a little more smooth right there. Just put that down, grab my pink, and fill that in a bit. There, and I think it transitions just a little bit better. But isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And then the last thing to finish off the top of this, I'm going to go back to that beautiful blue. And I'm going to darken this at the top here with dark wash jeans. And that way the transition isn't going to be quite so strong. Look how pretty. Yay. I love it. What do you think? Let me know what you think. I want to know if you like it. Let me get all this off of here. And then I'm going to get these cleaned up. You know, you may get a little bit of staining on your stencils from your inks, and that's fine. It just goes back to the fact that it is a hybrid ink, so it does have a permanent quality about it. You know, so if it dries a little bit on there, you may not be able to get all of it off, and that's totally fine. Okay, so this is the first one that I did, and this is the second one that I did. So I was playing while I was preparing for you guys. Aren't they just so pretty? I think it's gorgeous. I love them. So I am going to work with this one only because I'm going to show you. I put some stickles down in there. See how that's sparkling? And so all I did, my favorite stickles is Stardust. And you can use whatever, you know, glittery, anything you have. Shake that down a bit. And there we go. And just fill in just like this. And that's all I did. I just went in and I filled in with my stickles all around. And then set that aside to let it dry. See that? So you'll set that aside, let it dry, and then you'll end up with this. Okay? So through the magic of television, like a cooking show, you know. Let me go ahead and get my stencils put away. And then we're going to get this card wrapped up. If I can get these in here. There we go. Okay, so next up, what did I do? Okay. So I need a card base. This isn't the right paper. Alan, can you get me a sheet of my Nina over there? Yes. So I need a card base. And our slim lines, like I said, cut to 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. And that is the size that I cut this. But we are going to do some matting. So the largest I'm going to go then is going to be 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. So this is a full sheet. It's already 8 1/2 across. So I'm just going to cut this to 3 1/2 twice, which is basically 7 because I'm going to score it down the center because it's going to be my card base. So, so I need to trim 4 inches off of this because this is already 11 inches and I need it cut to 7. So that is excess. Let's go ahead and get this scored at 3 1/2. I always use my score buddy. I don't use the larger one. I do have the larger one, but this one is just always so handy. This is my Nina paper, so it's pretty thick. So that's why I'm scoring it so, so strong. All right, so it's scored at 3 1/2. There we go. So now we have our card base. And let's set that aside. So now I want to build this up a bit. And I do have my different colors in here, but I think what I settled on, let's see how I want to layer this. I kind of like that instead of the black. Really brings out the colors, I think, in the, let me see. I definitely want this beautiful burgundy. Oh, look at that. I'm going to go with that because that black really, you can't see it there, but that black really plays off the black in the houses. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm probably going to have to trim down this piece here a bit. Because my largest piece, which is my black, is going to end up being that the 8 1/2. See the 8 1/2 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to trim that to 3 1/2. And that will go right on the top there, just like that. And then instead of 8 1/2 by 3 1/2, it's going to be, I'm going to trim, how much do I want to trim? I guess the question is, do I want to do a 16th frame, which I think is plenty. All right, so 3.5 is where we were here. I'm going to trim it to 3 and 3 3/8. And then, oh, I wish I had my bigger. All right, so anyway, 8.5 is where we are. See, this one doesn't work very well, but I can see it right there. That is my 1/8 inch marker. So I'm trimming 1/8 of an inch off. Huh?
Are you wanting a die?
No, my other paper trimmer. This one. Okay, so I trimmed 1/8 of an inch off of the length. So this should fit nicely in here and give me a little 1/16 of a border around it, and it does. It's really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those together. Oh, see, I'm on black now. I can't see. Let's put this on here. Got black on black, so I couldn't see where my edges were. There we go. Line that up nicely. There we go. So that gives me a nice 1/16 of an inch border all around. And then this one I need to trim down as well, I think. Let me see how we, no, this one actually fits. Perfect. So I don't have to trim it. Excellent. That's great. But the question is, do I want that up? I think I'm going to put that up on foam because I like to have that texture. And I haven't pulled the foam out, right? Afraid we might go over time just a little bit here, but let's see if we can get this worked out. While I have the foam out, I'm going to go ahead and put foam on the back of each of these guys here. There we go. Because they will definitely be up on foam. And 2 little pieces for this moon. And then, per usual, I'm just going to store that on there. All right. So I can see I've trimmed this way too large, but that's okay. I will trim it down. And I want this to have a lot of stability. So I'm going to put 3 pieces of this foam on here. Trim this one down just a little bit. Keep my pieces. There we go. That's going to go on this base, or on this card topper, I should say. There we go. To get that, there we go. So I have a tiny little bit of a border. See that beautiful little border all around there? Just like a little 1/16 of an inch. This one's actually not really straight. Let's see if I can pop that back up. Slide that over a little. Much better. Okay. Next, I've got the snow. So I need to trim this down. This is going to be trimmed 1/4 of an inch down to 3.5 inches. Where's my paper trimmer? So I'm actually going to trim 1/8 of an inch off of each side because I want it to stay centered. The little hill, I want to stay centered. So this should fit here now. Nope, I still didn't trim that very well. Yikes. A little bit more. Let's see if that does it. Very good. Terry's saying, what is your other cutter?
You said you wanted your other cutter?
Oh, it's just one of these. It's another Fiskars, but it's larger. That's all. Liz is saying, what did you name? Shrinking Violet?
I think that's what we decided.
Oh.
What do you remember?
I do not recall. I thought there was, what did we name the tape roll?
There was a bunch of names.
Yeah, there were several names, Ellen. Help me out. I don't remember.
I thought Shrinking Violet was the one we liked the best.
I like Shrinking Violet because that...
It was the one I liked the best.
Yeah, well, because it does shrink.
Right.
All right, so I popped this up on foam.
Fabiana Foma.
Fabiana Foma. I love that one,
That's
Fabiana
the two I
Foma.
wrote down.
Fabiana Foma. Ah, the tape is sticking to everything. Okay, so let's get this on here. So Fabiana Foma was one of Ellen's favorites. There we go. So put that down. Look at that, how pretty. I think it's so pretty. I'm loving this. Absolutely loving it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my little characters positioned here. So they're like sitting on this hill, looking up. Maybe bring them a little bit closer. You know what? I need a little piece of extra foam, which is the top up here. Because I've got this up on foam and not the little hill part. So I needed a second piece under her. And of course I made it too long. So this is the fun that we have, making things fit. There we go. Now she has all the support that she needs. And then we need that extra little piece for this guy too. Let me do this. Let me cut this in half. So here's a tiny little piece here to put up at the top. So maybe 2 layers at the top and 1 layer at the bottom because they're up on this little hill that has that foam. Look how cute and off center. Let's fix that. That would drive me crazy. There we go. And then they can be looking, we have a shooting star here. Where's the moon gonna go? Should the moon go lower? I got to figure out where the sentiment's gonna go. So let's do that really quickly. Bet you guys thought I forgot the sentiment again, right? I almost did. No, I didn't. I just remembered it.
You need the bigger one? Oh, you got it.
No, I have this.
What is that?
That's just a little piece of paper. And I'm going to use the Dream Big sentiment.
Where's that going to go?
I don't know yet.
Shouldn't you stamp it right on the card?
I don't want it stamped right there. I'm going to put it somewhere. It might go up here. I'm not sure. I have to figure it out. Let me see. It's going to go, you know, I'm going to put it in the middle and then I can trim either side depending on how I want to do it. Make sure it's straight. So I'm just stamping it with my Raven Hybrid ink. Perfect. that a little bit. Put that away because if I don't, I will lose it. And I'm going to go ahead and get this trimmed. So I have about a 16th, maybe a little more than a 16th below the G. So I try and line it up so that above the highest letter, I have about the same amount of space. And then the question is, where's it going to go on the card? Oh, I kind of like it right up there. Does that fit across the card? A little bit too long, so and I put it right in the center too, didn't I? Of course I did. So if I trim it, I have to trim it off of both sides. What is wrong with me? Tiny little bit off of that side, and then a tiny little bit off of this side. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope it is the right length. So let me go with this and see if it's the right length. Almost. Good enough. How's that? And I think that's going to work. I like it across the top. So we're going to do a little bit of foam again on the back of this. There we go. How do you store your stamps and dies? In a drawer or a bin? Reagan is asking. I actually have them in a bin, and I do store them together. So I have the stamps stored with the dies. Oh, look at that. Look how cute that is with that little wisp coming right off the top there. That is so cute. Can't put my head right over the top to see if it's level or see if it's straight. I'm hoping it is. Huh? Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Alan said it's better. Okay. Last thing we need is the moon.
Yeah, put the moon around the star like Pac-Man.
Put it around a star? Like,
yes.
How about if I put it right over that little wisp of color there that isn't supposed to be there?
Well,
how about if I put it there?
Up a little.
Up a little?
Yeah, there you go. So it's going to eat the star.
It's going to eat the star like Pac-Man? That's, yeah. You're funny.
That's,
that is criteria for card making. Is that your suggestion or somebody else's?
Someone else's.
That's interesting. That's funny.
Pomarella.
The part I love is that I actually know what Pac-Man is. There we go. So let's go like this. There we go. And make sure my card is opening in the right direction. So I'm going to flip this around because I'm right-handed. I'm going to line up the edge. There we go. That's a heavy card.
Is
It
it?
is, but I think it's done. Oh, how pretty.
Oh, the stickles make it heavy?
Alyssa's saying, do you have an opaque white ink pen?
Yeah.
Ink opaque white. Oh, ink pad. We do, actually. No. It's the,
white?
yeah, what is the white called? Let me give it to me. You got it? Oh, sorry, you're back, huh? It's actually called Snowy White. This is it. But when you get it, this was like an older one, so that's why this is clear and you can see the white through it. It'll actually have a different lid on it so you can see the white. It'll have like a black lid on it so you can see the white. But yes, it's snowy white, and it is amazing when you stamp this on dark colors. It is absolutely fantastic. And if, you know, the more times you stamp it, like if you stamp it like 2 or 3 times, it gets even, you know, even more intense, I guess. It's absolutely gorgeous. So here we go. Here's the card. See it glisten? We've even got a shooting star here. So pretty. I like it. I like it. Yay. Alrighty, so I didn't even look. Did we go over? We're over by 1 minute right now. Ah!
$5 a minute.
Okay, so we need to do a giveaway, Misto. Misto Hunt.
What are you giving away? See if anybody wants it.
Well, let's see. Why don't we, you know what, why don't we give away one of the Over the Hills dies? Because I used that special in this particular card, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous at the bottom of the card there. Look how pretty that is. I think this turned out so cute. I'm very, very happy with it. Yay. I like it. I think it's shiny, glistening. Very pretty. So we're going to give away the Over the Hills die. I think that would be good because I think it's perfect. You can use it for snowy hills, grassy hills, dirt hills, whatever you want. It works. Okay, so the winner, Alan's choosing from all of your comments, and the winner is Shawneen Maynard. Shawneen Maynard, you are the winner. Congratulations. You won the Snowy Hills. Oh, for goodness sakes, I don't even know the name. I'm stuck on Snowy White for the ink pad. This is Over the Hills. I need to think of my husband.
No,
Over the Hills. Yeah, he's thinking of me tonight because my brain is mush. Alrighty. So, Shawneen, I need you please to send us an email to customerservice@ldrscreative.com. We need your complete mailing address so that we can get your Over the Hills die out to you right away. So please, please, please send it to us and we'll get that in the mail. Yay! Congratulations, Shawneen. Yay! All right, everybody. One more look at today's card. Yay. I don't know what we're doing Thursday, but I can guarantee you it will be an attempt at something crafty. I will try not to make up words. I will try not to get ink all over my hands. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining tonight. It was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the card. Have a wonderful evening. We will be back here again Thursday, same time, same place, 7 p.m. right here at LDRS Creative. We'll see you. Everybody have a great night. Bye for now. Thanks so much.